So the next plane I was going to try and fly is this E-flite Nieuport 17. Now it's E-flite, but it was an ARF kit.
Throttle cut on.
And it's a bit of a devil. It's extremely delicate. I just broke it now holding it. Well, it was probably a bit broken before because it's so delicate. I was just trying to hold it with my thumbs while I did something, and I've slightly broken the foam there. I'm going to have to take the wing off. Oh God, I know, it's not going to be extremely difficult to fix that even. Anyway, and it's a devil to get a battery in. I've got a battery sort of shoved up. Because you want the battery as far forward as you can. Because if he doesn't have the battery far forward, his weight really needs to be far forward, else he doesn't fly well at all. He needs to have his weight extremely far forward. That's an E-flite 1300, which I can barely get in there. And you've got to be extremely careful because, see, that's the battery, the front of the battery, and it's behind this fake engine. And this fake engine, I suppose you could just take it off and throw it away, but this fake engine is supposed to be attached to the little Part 250 motor and rotate, which creates, it's a nice scale effect, but it creates additional complications. He's tricky. I'm sorry I broke that side there, but I know he's such a delicate plane. I mean, he's just very, very, very delicate. There's like some wood in there, and that's plastic on top, and then this is just the thinnest foam on the side there. I don't know. One step at a time, anyway. He's 3-channel. See, I don't want to hold him there, because if I hold him, I'm going to break him worse. 3-channel, right, left, up, down. That's it. And as I say, he's an ARF kit, so he doesn't come with any electronics, doesn't come with a motor or the ESC or the receiver or any servos, so you need to add a couple of servos and a receiver. That's my little lemon receiver up in there, DSMX, and there's not much room either. The Part 250 motor, that's what they called for, and that's what he's got. I put exactly the motor they asked for in him, and we'll see.
Throttle cut off.
A bit cool this morning. Not frosty, but cool. Famous last words. Whoops. Yeah, he never was easy to fly, this guy. Never was easy to fly. Okay, I might have to... I have flown him, when I flew him before, I flew him off the grass, but, you know, the grass is maybe a little longer, a little wetter now. We'll have to put a runner out for him. This battery's a bit old and not very powerful, but I don't know. Anyway, let's see if the runner helps. Not much, really. Hey? Well, I don't know. Should we hand launch him? A bit dicey trying to hand launch this guy. Well, I think if we're going to fly him today, we're going to have to hand launch him. He just doesn't seem to want to take off otherwise. Nope. Oh well. So the first order of business this morning is going to be to try and have another go with this little Nieuport 17 built from an E-flite ARF kit. Delicate, fragile little plane he is. I tried to fly him yesterday and I could not get him to take off. Couldn't get enough power to take off. Tried hand launch him and broke his tail. So we've mended his tail. I also broke the fuselage a bit there just by holding him, because you can break this guy just by holding him. You could probably break him by blowing on him if you blew hard. Really, he's very, very, literally, I mean, if you put a big room fan on him, it would almost certainly break him. He's very delicate. Part of the problem is aging batteries. I took as well as repairing him, I took out this little dummy rotary motor. That was glued to the outside of the little park motor there. But, you know, you can see there isn't much room in there, and it was tending to, that's what they said to do, and it's a nice scale touch that you got this rotary motor turning as it should with the motor. But it was tending to foul things, you know, get caught on the cowling, get caught on the wire, get caught on the battery. So I think it was just making it harder for the motor to rotate and generate power. So for now I've taken it out. It makes the plane a little uglier, but hopefully maybe makes it a little more functional. I don't really know. The other problem is I'm just having problems with batteries. You know, I was flying him yesterday with something like this. Well, yes, that's a bit puffed. It's old. It's, you know, but you know, that's not so bad. But even that, you know, all of them, they're a little old. This is what I've put in him now. Is the only new 2-cell 1300 I've got. But it's a hair heavier, which worries me a little bit because, you know, this is a very light plane. Any amount of weight is going to be an issue. It's not a bigger capacity, it's the same capacity. But it just seems to me, didn't put it on a scale to be perfectly honest, but it seems to me that it's a hair heavier, which worries me. But what else? I don't know what else to do. It was the only 2-cell 1300 I could find in stock to buy. Now, see, even if I get hold of him, they're just getting hold of him to pick him up, I could break his fuselage. He's very, very delicate. Yeah, it's pretty, but very, very delicate. We've got the battery up fairly far forward because he needs the weight of the battery. See, there's not much of him ahead of the wing, and he needs the weight of the battery ahead of the wing to balance him out. But as I say, I'm afraid he's a little heavier than I like now. But, well, I don't think I'm going to have any more success with any of the other batteries, so if I can't fly him with this battery, I'm not going to try and hand launch him again. That seems to be a really bad idea. He's too delicate to handle it. Well, he can handle the launch, but if he hits the ground afterwards, he's too delicate to handle that. Ooh. Well, there's sure as heck a lot more power in that battery than the other one. Massively more power. He may be a bit heavier than he wants, but that battery is pumping out a heck of a lot more power. Well, also taking out that little dummy motor may have really helped the prop turn. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say how much of it's from the power, but I think this battery is pumping out more power. It's a little hard to say how much of it's from the power and how much of it's from the dummy motor. The sun is not up just yet. So we don't have to worry about flying into the sun, but we will. Well, yeah, I mean, he's not flying badly with that battery. He is... I wasn't sure, you know, whether the extra weight... I mean, yes, he's maybe a hair nose heavy now with that.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
He's not very keen on climbing. He doesn't have that much power. Well, and his overall weight is perhaps a bit more than it should be. And he's a bit nose heavy, maybe. Although you get him going a little faster and he does rise. He never did much. I mean, he was never intended to. He's one of these things you build for show, really build for looks. And in that way, sense, it's a pity having to take that rotary motor out, but I think we had to. It just wasn't working anymore. Maybe it had also got a bit bent over time and things with the air pressure and whatever. And it was just tending to foul things. And there isn't much room there, you know, for it to turn inside the cowling and trying not to hit the, you know, if it gets too far back, if it gets too far forward, it's going to hit the cowling. If it gets too far back, it's going to hit the wires of the motor that have to connect to the motor.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Yeah, I don't really know. I've no idea. That probably was sort of meaningful at some point. I don't know. I used to fly with those little Wild Scorpion 1.1s. Well, I flew him once now. I actually didn't fly very well with those because they wouldn't go all the way forward, and so he was too tail heavy with those. Now, I was flying him with the E-flite batteries that go with things like the Stratocam or the Concendo. A little bit of wind getting up there. That was wind blowing him around. hair of wind, and of course any little hair of wind he's going to feel. So another reason we wanted to get him out before the wind came up, because any little hair of wind he's going to feel. Well, I think that demonstrates, that's proof of concept. I think we're just going to try and bring him in now. So he can fly with that battery, although a battery with decent power but a bit lighter would be preferable. Ah. Okay, so I suck up flaring at the right point. I flared, but I flared a little too early. It's all good. Oh, won't be if I push that with my sleeve. He's got one. Let's maybe just try and have one more go around.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Yeah, he is heavier than he should be with that battery, I think. I think there's no doubt that he is a little heavier than he really should. There we go. Managed to flare at the right time that time. Flare too late, flare too early, things are not going to quite work. So there you go. A somewhat successful flight with a little E-flite Nieuport AR 17 AR built from the ARF kit.